Hello everybody and welcome back to Banished. As we join our tranquil village of Beepton, they are busy bringing in the morning's gatherings. It's looking like quite a peaceful day out here by the river. Off camera I put down another house because we had a couple come together, and a couple of severely underage minors. Anyway, not looking at that too hard. We also put down some roads, and that's it. That's really all that happened off camera. This is a pretty relaxed playthrough, and I kind of want to keep most of it on view to you, you know? Bring you along for the ride. Let's bring up those UI elements. I sort of just hid them for the intro there. This one, and this one. There we go. Also, we've kind of outgrown Professions tab. I now want the scrolling one, yes. Now we can see all the jobs available to us. So Forester is not currently maxed out. We do have 2 laborers available. So I'm going to throw another 2 jobs on there, which means we now have full-time forestry running, no problems. Also going to turn off builders and free up laborers that way. Okay, the only 3 buildings we currently have running are the Forest, the Fisherman, and the Woodcutter, I believe. Yes? Oh, and farmers, right, of course. We do have the farmers. And by the way, when your people aren't working, they'll kind of just default to being a laborer, and they'll go pick stuff up around the place, so it's not the end of the world to kind of just overprescribe a little bit. Alright. Let's highlight some stuff here. There we go. Bring in some of those winter foods and all that. Okie dokes. So, well, now we're waiting for stuff to happen. How you guys doing? I'm settling into the new flat pretty comfortably. By the way, if you hear a cat mewling or any loud traffic sounds, I am now living on a pretty main road. It's kind of nice transportation-wise, you know, literally about 6 feet from the subway entrance. For those of you that don't speak freedom, that is about 2 and a bit meters. It's really nice, anyway, to be this close. I'm really... Yeah, I can't state it, but the real downside is also that I live kind of in the dodgier part of town, to be honest. Outside my window is not 1, not 2, but that's right, 16 brothels and or strip clubs. I'm not sure which one they are. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. I can't even monetize this anyway, so screw it. Yeah, I mean, this is Korea, so, you know, that's not really saying much, that there's a brothel outside your house. That's kind of just Korea. But, you know, there are a distinctly large number of very publicly advertising brothels outside of my house. So there's also quite a bit of traffic as a result. So if you hear any hooting and honking and police sirens, quite specifically, at this time of night, then you can just sort of use your imagination and work out what's going on outside. Or, you know, open up your phone, slap on the VPN, and find out pretty easily. Anywho, that's not got anything to do with Banished. This isn't family-friendly content. Never claimed it was. What are we doing today? What are we running short on? Well, clothes and tools. Okay, well, clothes is going to be kind of hard to deal with, but tools we can handle. So let's go ahead and get some of those racked out. I need a blacksmith. Yes, there we go. Okay, he can actually fit down the central thoroughfare pretty comfortably. Or in there with a bit of side space. I kind of like to make things tessellate, you know, make them fit together nicely. It's not required in the slightest, but it, you know, just gives me the good feels, man. Oh, it feels good, man. So I like to use it. Out of interest, how many of these houses can we fit in here? How many more of them? We're going for the wood houses here, right? So 1, 2, 3. We could fit 3 more in there. I'm going to pause them for now. So that's actually kind of good spacing. So I don't want to mess with that. So we'll probably put the blacksmith over here. Well, we could put 3 more there as well, I suppose. Put the blacksmith somewhere else. Just slap him. Yeah, just slap him down by the river. Blacksmith. Where were we? Blacksmith. Smith Black. There we go. Willsmith? Blacksmith. There it is. Okay, cool. So throw him over there, just behind this row of houses. That'll be fine. Those materials were delivered pretty quickly, especially considering I don't think we have any builders. Do we? Do we have any builders? No, we don't. So, I guess the laborers are doing it? Oh, yeah, the farmers won't have anything to do, so they'll be laboring. That makes a fair bit of sense. Let's actually go ahead and clear out the remaining stone on this side of the river, as well as all of the iron available to us here. Yeah, let's just get all of that brought in. Now, okay, cool. So tools are vitally important because they enable your people to you know, do their work faster and more efficiently. Without tools, they are so incomprehensibly slow. You know, chopping down a tree takes like a season. Understandably, you're basically just, you know, scratching at it with a blunt stick at that point, so yeah, it makes sense. So tools, very important to get up and running, but clothing's probably even more important because especially in winter, it allows your people to go further out without having to come back to seek warmth. Because right now what they're going to be doing is going out to about here, getting cold before they've done their job, and coming back in. Or they'll get there and start their job, do like 2 work cycles on it, and then come back and then have to go back and do 2, and then back and 2, and back and 2, and back and 2, and it just takes forever to do anything, and you eat a lot of food, and it's just, it's a mess. You also burn through a hell of a lot of firewood doing that, because they use firewood only when they're cold. So technically, you know, wearing clothes is a form of greenhouse gas reduction, so put that on your tax credits. Oh, I need to make clothing, right? A tailor, that's what we want. Now, tailor, it's a stupid name. Where could we fit you? Sorry to anyone who's named Taylor in the comments, but your name is stupid. And I love you, dearly, very dearly. But your name is still stupid. Loses 30,000 subscribers. If only I had that many to lose. Let's throw down the tailor right next to the blacksmith. Well, they'll be best friends. Strange bedfellows, workshop buddies. Just like Alex Steele and Will, what's his name? Yes, the dynamic duo. Okay. Put those there. We don't have any builders, that's why it's not getting built. That would, you know, equate. That makes sense. I may have trash brain, but even I can crack the code on that one. Let's actually assign the full retinue needed to get this done in time, because this is getting a little bit urgent. Now, we do need raw materials for the clothing. We have it for the tools. Iron ore and logs will produce crude tools. Not ideal, but they'll work. We need a way to produce clothing. Now, in the base game, you basically only have 3 options. It's leather, wool, or leather and wool. And it gets better depending on them. And I think you can also get linen, and you get fancy clothes. I think you can, like, tech up to that. But we don't have any of that available to us at present. All of the seeds we started with were food seeds, rather thankfully. Doesn't really help us here. Oh, also, how are we doing for breeding pairs? Yes, we have another one. Please, resume the construction there. And we got a girl. And we've got 1 boy and 1 girl of age, so we just start 1 more household up. But we got a girl and a boy about to age up at the same time. They're both going to turn 10 around the same time. Okay, so you need tools, it says. Log and iron ore. He should just be going out and collecting that. We are out of logs because we're turning it all into firewood, aren't we? Let's turn down the numbers on that a bit. We're going to take that down to a comfortable 250. There we go. Okay, cool. That's that done. So we're still everything we built so far is still vanilla. I haven't built anything that is from the Colonial Charter mod, and that, except for this Forester's Lodge, and that is on purpose, because I kind of want people who are seeing this for the first time to see it, you know? See Banished for what it is as a vanilla entity. I realize I probably should have played that on vanilla, but I kind of wanted to keep the series going after we got through the basics. Alright, so now, with Colonial Charter, we have leather, wool, reeds and feathers, cloth and linen available to us. Leather, we could build a hunting lodge, and that will slowly come in. That might be our best bet. It also gives us a bit of food, but we are pretty good for food. Or we could build a gatherer's point here on the coast, bring in some reeds and a hunting blind to catch ducks for feathers. Those are 2 things we can also do, but I think the leather coat's actually better, even if the leather production's a bit more sporadic. Yeah, let's throw down a hunting cabin. I'm pretty sure animals just spawn in the woods, so we'll just throw that down there with our forester, because he's going to be creating woods, so that kind of balances out. And at the same time, I'm pretty sure wild food spawn near trees, so we could put down a gatherer's hut for some additional wild food collection. And fast forward a few seasons there, we've got our hunting cabin up and running. Yeah, look at that. That looks excellent. I think this is one of the new building models from the mod. That's definitely not vanilla. I think it might be random which one it chooses. I don't know. But it looks pretty snazzy either way, doesn't it? We just need some more logs delivered here to the gatherer's hut, and that will be up and running too. And we do actually have the labor force to supply both of these, which is pretty cool. Also, yes, our next group of children are ready for their own homes, so let's send them off to the meat factory and see what they produce. We've got 10-year-old there and a 10-year-old there. God, it is a dark world that these people live in. Okay, food. Oh, wow, we got enough tools. I'm going to set the tool limit to 150 because... actually, let's make it 100 because I do want to trade some of these at some point. We will be building a trade market probably this episode, if I can help it. I kind of just wanted to get the raw resource production stabilized. Kind of get everything over here built and ready to go. And then the next episode, we're really going to start exploring some of the mod stuff. I think it'll be a fun way to go about it. We do still need a few more builders walking around. What are you due to be doing here? Just really someone's just got to come put like 7 more bits of work into this? Come on. There we go. There we go. Alright, by the way, if their tool is listed as being steel, you'll see it on some of these people. Yeah, there we go. That's actually not steel tools. That's a really advanced one. It says iron, the crude iron tools. I don't know why they get listed as steel for some reason, but they're not. It's these shitty ones that these are making, and they are really, these rough tools, they're really not good. We want to be going up to the iron tools as soon as possible, and in fact, we should actually maybe explore that, if not this episode, then pretty soon after. Okay, we've already got some leather in the bank. That's kind of surprising. I didn't think that would come in so quickly. So we can get tether going. I think 1 piece of leather will turn into 1 jacket. Let's see what kind of ratio we're working with. Where's our tailor? There she is. She is picking up resources. Okay, cool. Let's check her inventory. Yeah, she's got the leather. She's going to come and drop that off and then begin working. So, there's the leather. How many clothes is it going to turn into? Okay, 2 leather was consumed, and we got 2 hide coats. Alright. So we do need even numbers there. Good to know. Yeah, so the single piece of leather that remains is not usable. But we do have 4 more hide coats. That's good. Okay. Very good. And people will come put those on. 90 rough tools. Yeah, you can see we churn these out really quickly, but they get burned through like paper. In fact, actually, you know what? We've barely even started this episode, and I don't really want to drag this on longer than it has to go. The logical next thing is to kind of start improving some of our processes, right? So let's do that. We're going to want to make a fuel refinery. I think we'll get away with the small one for now. And I'm going to throw that right here, right next to the blacksmith. Right over there. Okay, fuel refinery. And we're going to need some more roads to run through there. Very nice. Okay, just like that. And this fuel refinery is going to turn firewood into furnace fuel, which will then get... then we need a smelter to turn iron ore into iron. And in fact, you can be switched over to iron, so you stop producing those shitty tools. And we're going to need... Ooh, where is it? We need a smelter now, right? Small iron smelter, there it is. Okay, is that the same? Yeah, it's the same place. Throw that over there. Give it the same road network as everybody else, just so it looks all nice and uniform. And then this one has its road wrapping around to the side. Very pretty. Okay, cool. So, we got a small iron smelter there, and we have a small fuel refinery over there. Okay, lovely. We are going to need some builders, and for that I need more laborers. And which we actually don't have any at present. Let's see what our new families are looking like. These people already made 2 kids. That's brilliant. 2 kids over there. 2 kids over there. 2 over there. Only 1 here. I think that might be one of our older families at 24. God, that is just depressing. These kids have yet to have a kid. Probably a good thing. Keep that up. Just, oh no. As I said it, there's the child. Alright. That's not the end of the world. It's kind of fine. Actually, we can take people off farming. Oh, yeah, because we're into winter now. Let's go ahead and get our farmers building, and we'll switch them back to farming before winter ends. And like our tailor's kind of useless right now, but I'm going to leave them as a laborer. They can kind of just walk around and do stuff. Leia's idling. She's a woodcutter who's been maxed out. Or we can give her a fallback job. You know what? Let's just go ahead and schedule. We have enough food. We'll pick up all the herbs and stuff close to us here. And then why don't we go ahead and chop down some trees, right? Just go chop down all the trees. I kind of like those ones there. Just go down and chop down a few trees over here and clear out a few trees behind the line over there. That'll do the trick. Okay, and also, of course, we can collect the stone from across the bank as well as the iron ore. Lovely. Just bring that over to this side where we can use it. Okay, our little hamlet's really coming together here. I'm beginning to like the way things are looking. A little bit tightly packed here in the streets, but that's okay. Now, this is quite a manpower-intensive process, you know, going from what we had to what we want here, but we are going to be able to use a lot of this industrial fuel for a lot of different things pretty soon. We're going to keep that at 100 for now, because we only need it for the iron smelter. What's the hold up here? Stone. We are out of stone, apparently. That's no good. There's a whole bunch of stone here, but the foresters will bring that in. I think we'll focus our laborers on this side of the world. Okay, so let's get our builders laboring. Finding someplace warm. We've got clothing at least, which helps. Okay, it's not the end of the world. What is our food store looking like? How much have you produced, by the way? Only 5. Okay, so the same 5 leather. Got some feathers, though, and some duck meat. That's good. What have we got here? 200 logs this season. That's pretty damn good. Bunch of stone, bunch of iron. And... oh yeah, ton of food coming over here. That's really good. Alright, cutting back there for a second, through a rather surprising fluke. Some iron was harvested. I'm not entirely sure what that came off of it. I'm guessing some of these rocks weren't written correctly when the iron ore stuff was set up. But there we go, we have some iron available. Oh, and spring has come, which means we need to put our farmers back to their fields. Yes, gentlemen, off you go. Please go and bring in the harvest. And as you can see, an 8x15 field is worked by one farmer without any problems, which is really nice. Okay, how did you guys do previous season? Onions, blueberries, mushrooms. That's a lot of food. That's like 600, 670, 700, 900 food. Almost 1,000 food, only from this building. How did the fishermen do? 1,200. That's okay, so they're definitely doing better. But, I mean, I wouldn't scoff at 1,000 food over here either, and that's a lot of variety, which contributes to health and happiness, by the way. Food variety. Hey, it's warming up quite a bit. I'm guessing that's in Fahrenheit. If that's Celsius, then these guys are going to be having a pretty rough spring. Still nothing else coming off the hunter. Mostly just duck. I mean, I'm sure people don't mind eating some duck, but I prefer the leather. And I don't think duck leather is really a big commodity anywhere on Earth. Alright, I'm kind of just going to fast forward time here until we get some more kids born, or at least some more adults coming of age, and then we can have a look at this refining process for the iron. I think it's also time we go ahead and put in a herbalist over here, for the same reasons we put in everything else, which is that we've got this kind of like continuously forested area, and we can get some herbs placed in. Now, the real benefit to herbs is that they improve your citizens' health, but as long as you've got enough food variety, I've never really found that to be a problem. However, what they also do is they are tradable for quite a bit of money. Also, you can minimize these windows. I didn't know that. Pretty nice, a bit more compact over there. But yeah, you can trade herbs for a fair whack of money. And I think it's time, you know, we've set up a bit of basic industry here today. I think it's probably a good idea that we start looking at ways to make a bit of money in Banished. And getting some more seed types, getting some livestock, you know, that sort of thing. Making sure we can expand a bit more rapidly than we currently are. How are we doing here for families? There we go. We got a 15-year-old, 10-year-old there. That's a family. That's a family in the sick, twisted world of Banished. I'm never going to not point out how completely bizarre that is. Oh, in fact, actually, we could do 2. Hey, there we go. Alright, let's get another one down over here. Just over there. Perfect. Oh, I do, in fact, need a couple of builders. And we just got some more people into the labor force for just that purpose. Brilliant. There we go. Get you lot working. Get them breeding. Excellent. Yeah, the one thing we're not really able to keep up with right now is clothing. Everything else is kind of sorted. It's just clothing. But until we can actually farm animals, leather's not really going to be a particularly reliable resource in the slightest. We do still have some excess clothes, which is great, which means that, you know, no one's actually technically yet suffering from the problems. Oh, and something you should always do, by the way, is increase your food limit to just something insane. Like, you can never have enough food. It doesn't expire, and it's good to help absorb, like, waves of nomads arriving, or whatever. Okay. So, oh, you work in the blacksmith profession. Interesting. So what we could do is periodically just sort of disable this. He'll go over there. He'll produce the iron. Right? Iron ore 50. Furnace fuel should come in there too. 50, yeah. Excellent. I've set this thing to produce only 100. And what are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? Come on, 2 iron. And how much iron ore? 1 iron ore produces 2 iron? Really? That's fantastic economy if that's the case. Yes! Holy shit, that is so much more efficient. Okay, and they're better tools too. So, 1 iron ore produces 2 iron, which you then put with plus a log, and you get iron tools, which are, I'd wager, around about twice as good as the rough tools. So that's kind of perfect. And in fact, we can actually keep these two going continuously, and that's going to give us a pretty good economy there. Get that tool limit up to 250. Yeah. Very nice. Now, the one thing we are going to fall a bit shorter on is firewood. But I think we'll be able to keep up with demand of both production and... because this is gonna top out pretty soon at 100. At least it should. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Because as much as this is consuming, this is gonna be putting it out as well. And I think, yeah, we're gonna try and store 200 iron if we can help it. That's a good buffer for our blacksmith. I would say just refine all of it. I mean, we could, but it's about the fuel consumption, because we can make furnace fuel out of a whole bunch of other stuff, including fire bundles, which we can make. But that's just, again, it's labor. That's our real shortfall right now. So our focus really needs to be on making sure we are as efficiently as possible putting together houses. And as you can see, we've got a 10-year-old there and a 12-year-old there. That means it's time for babies. There we go. Okay, 10 over there. Kind of just got to keep a bit of your finger on it. There's another one over there. Hey, another 2 females of age, which means actually we can do 2 more households. Brilliant. And as you can see, you don't grow quite exponentially, but you do grow very rapidly at this point. You know, it sort of starts snowballing now. Also, your people will stop having children after a certain age, around about 40, 45 or so. So it's worth just keeping an eye on that as well, because you're going to start getting households with, you know, only 1 or 2 people in them and no new kids, and they're kind of just drains, really. Alright, for the first time in a little while, we actually have excess labor, so I'm going to throw a couple people on that new herbalist and restock the forester's lodge. I'd pulled someone off there to work. Oh, I think it was the furnace. I can't remember. And yes, there we go. Now we actually do have a couple free laborers still lurking around. And what we're really falling short on is firewood. Now, I could build another woodcutter, but what I am going to do, I think, just to kind of finish this episode off on a cool note, is we're going to put down a water wheel sawmill. Yeah, that's this beast right over here. It's just kind of a fun building to play with a little bit. Is there a good angle here we can see? It's kind of not really the right terrain for this, is it? What about across the water? Yeah, there we go. You can fit that right across the water there. Okay, cool. We're going to throw down that water wheel sawmill right over there. We do need a bit more stone. So let's get that harvested. Let's get that thing built, and we're going to call that an episode there, I think. It's been a pretty good run so far. So I'm pretty happy with that. And what we can do here is we can produce both lumber, which is sort of the log equivalent for the colonial charter buildings. We can produce both lumber and firewood at a significantly faster rate for about the same amount of manpower, because as cool as this building is, it's not actually all that good at its job. This is going to be speeding things up a hell of a lot. And I think, in fact, let's go ahead and give it its own dedicated stockpile of both logs. Slow down like a log stockpile. It's like a little 3x5 over there. And a fuel stockpile. And we'll give it a lumber stockpile, construction stockpile. Here we go. Just 3 little stockpiles. Okay, and let's throw down the old road. Of course, we need to connect up the highways once more. The great highways. Yes. Very good, very good. Okay, lovely. Chop, chop, chop. Get all of that stuff cleared out. Okay, cool. We've got some logs in that pile already. That's going to be for the fuel, and that will be for the construction materials, right? Like lumber. Okay, excellent. This is kind of just a general purpose stockpile. We will be replacing this. Actually, that can probably just stay there as it is. I don't need anything specific stored there, so there's no real reason to nitpick it. We are, however, going to be running out of storage space pretty soon. But that's a problem for next episode, I think. It's always got to be careful not to overextend yourself on these things, because The episodes can run into the 50-minute range pretty damn quickly. This game's quite enticing. One thing I can tell you though is that we are going to need more foresters pretty damn soon. In fact, how are we doing for laborers? We have 5 free. That's pretty good labor excess there. Okay, as long as the only thing in reserve that's low is logs. As long as I want firewood in reserve being low. That would be more of a problem. Oh, we do in fact need some builders. I forgot about that. So let's get some builders built. Get some builders building. And have them throw together this structure in good time. Excellent. And they're all going to come here and do a single minute's work and then be on their way. You know, isn't that just unions for you? Just kidding. You should definitely join a union if you're in a trade. They are the only thing protecting you from your rather exploitative consumers and employers, actually. So just be careful out there, kids. Look after yourself. Join a union. Anyway, here's a water mill. As you can see, it takes one person to run it, and we can get this thing producing firewood. Brilliant! In fact, brilliant.org, I'm going to send you over there. Brilliant.org, if you are listening to this, sponsorship, please. Please sponsorship, that would be very nice. I know this is not a science channel, but I mean, is anything anymore? I mean, yes, they are, objectively, but does it matter? No. No, I don't think it does, and therefore, it's fine. Anywho, kids, I think that's enough rambling for today. We've kind of, you know, covered all the basics. It is already autumn again. We're on for our 3rd winter. 4th winter? Oh, I can't actually remember. And the city is definitely thriving at this point. Would definitely be hard to say it's not succeeding. And our foresters have all but cleared out... Oh, there's another one going there. Let's say all but cleared out all of the stone and iron and such from this region. Super duper cool. Super duper cool. And as you can see, they're planting all the new trees. Got some rubber trees and sort of low poly ferns and things like that. Pretty cool. Ferns? I meant conifers. That's the one. Pine trees and such. Huh. Okay, well, I'm done pretending that I know what I'm talking about. I will be seeing all of you in the next one. I am going to, off camera here, just put down a few more houses. And maybe... I'm going to put down the houses and call that good. I want to do the rest on camera with all of you next time. See you in the next one. Cheers.